What's up, guys? Ryan G here, driving on the freeway, and I was just thinking about a new client that just signed with BlowUp Local, who is, in his own words, a practice in distress. So I'm thinking about, what do we have to do to really get him kicking some ass quickly. We want to get him the quick wins, right? But we also need to build a firm foundation, which is what we do, right? So, some of the first things we're going to do is we're going to launch his new site so that it really positions him as a industry-leading expert. Because the simple truth is that, neuropathy, knee, chiropractic patients, you would be foolish to think that you're the only chiropractor site that they're going and visiting and doing research on. And we know that's not true, right? We know that they're looking at a lot. And they're trying to look for somebody that stands out to them, somebody that increases their level of certainty that they're going to get the result that they desire, which is to reduce the pain that they currently have, right? So by building out the expert hub and really positioning the doctor and the practice as the industry-leading expert, and not an expert like you're an expert in a group of thousands of other experts. No, we're trying to position each of our clients as the single greatest chiropractor in that area. And we do that with authority signals. We do that with a tremendous amount of social proof. And we do that by wildly over-delivering on everything, eliminating friction, making it super simple. One of the things that this doc said when I was first talking to him during the strategy call is he said, a lot of people say that our website is confusing. And I said, yeah, well, I showed it to my wife, Tiffany, as I was preparing for this call, and I said, hey, just look at this. And the first thing she said was, this is very confusing. And yeah, there's only, your job as a doctor, as a business owner, is to try to eliminate friction, any type of, and make it very easy for your patients to say yes. Say yes to book an appointment, say yes to schedule the appointment, say yes to accept care, stuff like that. We just want to make it super simple. So anyway, we're going to build all that out. Then we've got to really optimize and dominate their Google local or Google business listing. What is it called? Google business listing. Google business profile is what it's called. Okay. So once we get that optimized, which is fast, we have a system. We've been doing it for years. So once we get that in, we've got to make sure that these docs pop up everywhere on the internet. So when somebody types in their name, they absolutely dominate that entire first page of Google. And then we've got to go through, I've got a worksheet to help this doc identify what their unique selling proposition is. So we'll go through that. We'll really figure out their unique selling proposition. I've got to dive in and look at their competitors in their local area and see what they're doing, see what they're not doing, and see where there's like a hole, a chink in the armor, where we can get some very fast wins. So then we've got to have, so that's the conversion mechanism. That's the expert hub. So in any business, you basically have four components. You have traffic, conversion, ascension, and then retention. So the traffic, that is the external sites, the external places that are getting the attention of your perfect patient and then pushing your perfect patient into your conversion mechanism. So an example of traffic would be Facebook ads, Google ads, organic on Facebook and Google, Instagram, YouTube, could be direct mail, could be TV and radio ads, could be a referral from a friend or family member, it could be a referral from an affiliate or a Dream 100. So again, that's anyone that is pushing a person into your conversion mechanism. And then your conversion mechanism typically is your website. So that's going to be our expert hub. And that's going to take somebody who is cold traffic, doesn't really know who you are, and it's going to warm them up and persuade them to schedule an appointment and show up for that appointment. Now, some people are going to move through that process of warming up and scheduling an appointment very fast, and some people may warm up and schedule very, very slow. And that's why we have built in, our follow-up formula, which builds a relationship with these leads that are not really ready to schedule an appointment yet. They just need a little bit of time to get to know you, to see whether you're full of crap or not before they're ready to schedule. So the conversion mechanism could also be if you're sending traffic into a workshop or a seminar or directly into a phone call at your office. So those are all examples of a conversion mechanism. And then the next component is ascension. So now you get that person to show up to the appointment, and they paid $49 or whatever for your new patient special. Now it's up to you as the doctor. It's up to your staff to ascend that person, that patient, into the next step, which the next step is generally going to be accepting a care plan and becoming a patient. And that is not easy. So that is, how do you get the patients to actually show up to the appointment? How do you greet the patients when they walk in the door to make them feel special and for you to stand out as an expert? How do you take the patients through a carefully curated sales process to identify the problems that they currently have, the result that they truly desire, and then positioning your office and your offer as the solution to that problem that they have? So that is all something that you can't wing. You can't just guess. It takes careful planning and consideration to really dial that stuff in to make sure that it's working optimally. Okay, so that's the ascension. And then the final component is retention. The most expensive thing that you can do in your practice is acquire a new patient. And I think you guys, if you're listening to this podcast, you've probably spent enough money trying to acquire new patients to know that that is 1,000% true. It is always cheaper and easier to get an existing patient to spend more money than it is to get somebody who doesn't know who you are to spend any money. I would even argue it's probably easier, it definitely is easier, to get, I want you to think about your best patient, a patient that you've had for years, a patient that knows, likes, and trusts you, has already gotten a really good result with you. If that person got hurt and now they have a knee that's hurting all of a sudden, and they came in for care and you said, hey, listen, Karen, we can definitely help you. And it's going to be $4,000 for us to fix your knee. That is probably a much easier sale, selling this woman a $4,000 care plan, than it is selling somebody who doesn't know who you are a $49 new patient special. I think that that's 1,000% true. Because the person who, this woman Karen, she already knows you. She already knows that you can deliver the result. So it's much easier to sell her anything because you've already solved problems for her in the past, so you can definitely help her now. But somebody who doesn't know you, that's just going to be a lot more challenging, right? So our goal in business is always to figure out how can you retain the customers that you already have. And not just that, how do you not allow those customers to forget about you? I think, I was talking to one doc earlier this week, and he said, what I really need is, he said, I have like 15,000 patients. I need a patient reactivation. And I said, okay, we can definitely help you with that. So, he's got this whole plethora of patients, and there's like diamonds hiding there, right? But he's done a really poor job of maintaining contact and relationship with these people. And this is why it's so important to send a weekly email newsletter. So you're simply, it's just a touch point, right? It's kind of like, have you ever had a friend that you used to talk to a lot, but then maybe you moved or maybe you changed jobs and you just weren't around them as much, so you didn't really get to talk? And we always make the promise of, we're going to keep talking, we're going to be friends forever. But because you're just not in the same vicinity, the conversations get sparser and sparser. That relationship just withers and dies. And then eventually you realize one day, like, man, I haven't talked to that person in 4 years or something. But that's exactly what happens with your happy patients. They come in, you get them a result, they're all very, very happy, and then they leave. And you ghost them. You stop talking to them. You stop following up and continuing to strengthen that relationship. And then you wonder why you're not getting referrals. It's because nobody remembers you. They don't remember you. But what would happen if my financial planner does this, and it's still just, I find it to be amazing. But every single holiday, he sends me a greeting card. Every birthday, he sends me a greeting card. Even my children's birthdays, he sends me a greeting card. Now, you might think that that's really dumb. It probably costs him $2 per greeting card to send. You probably think that's dumb, but I forget that he exists, right? I forget because I'm busy, I have my own life, I'm doing my own thing. But then every couple months, I'm getting this greeting card and I'm like, oh man, yes, okay, I gotta call Jim and I gotta schedule another appointment. So it's just keeping me top of mind awareness that he exists, that he's here to help me, that, maybe I need to redo my will and my trust. It's been a couple years. I need to go look at it and make sure it's all dialed in. He just keeps reminding me about those things. And that's exactly what's happening with your patients. They accepted care from you before, they got the result, and then you stopped following up with them. You failed to retain them. And then all of a sudden they get hurt playing basketball and now their knee is hurting. And because Google and Facebook is always listening, they complained about their knee hurting, and now they're seeing all these ads about knee pain relief, and they click on one of your competitors' ads. Why? Because they forgot that you exist. So if you want to grow your business without spending a tremendous amount of money, retain the patients that you currently have. Continue to build a relationship with them over an absurd amount of time. And if you do that, you will notice that you will get more referrals. You will have more return customers, patients. And I think over a period of time, you will notice that your average lifetime value, so the total amount of money that the average patient spends at your practice, I think you'll notice that number will slowly start creeping up and up over the years. So traffic, conversion, ascension, retention. Those are the 4 kind of pillars of any successful chiropractic practice. So if you are a chiropractor who is maybe struggling, maybe you have you're suffering through the feast and famine cycle, the big ups, the big downs, and you want to smooth that out and have a consistent flow of new patients. Maybe you've got a website that really sucks and does not make you look like an expert. In fact, it might be confusing some of your current patients. If you are looking for a revolutionary marketing system that's going to really help you build a badass chiropractic practice, send me a text message at 813-789-9868. That's 813-789-9868. We will jump on a Zoom call. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions to kind of figure out and to help me understand some of the challenges that you're facing. And then we will see if potentially I can help you attract some new patients, become an expert, and really dominate your local market. So that's all I've got for today. Docs, I am almost at my destination. So until next time, keep moving forward.